Canadian mints and the shamrocks this morning, and she is really Irish, just so you know. Joan Piper is a certified medium, healer, and teacher here at the camp. Also, Joan has served on the SCSCMA Education Committee for many years. Joan discovered her ability to see and talk to spirits at the age of 6, following a visit from her recently deceased grandfather. Joan Piper really loves reuniting people with their loved ones who have passed on, and it brings great joy to her to do that. She has helped hundreds of people find closure and peace. So please join me now in a very warm welcome for Joan Piper. Yay, Joan Piper.
I have lots of stuff here, and I get to tell you all about it. So that would be a good idea. First, I want to say welcome and thank you for being here on this very early morning. Now, I have 3 things to show you. One is a little dish of dimes, some clover, and some beautiful flowers, irises. And during my lecture, I will tell you why I brought them. It's part of the teacher of me. I think we need visual things here. So, I would say when in the heart of me, I really feel that our heritage has a very important role to play in our life. And so I was going back in my head, and yes, I even did to find out what my heritage was, and come to find out I'm 75% Irish because of my grandparents, actually on my mom's side. My mom was all Irish. So it was Walter Murphy that married Lillian Casey, and they were from County Cork, actually. And I have a lot of relatives down from Munster. So that's Cork, Kerry, Leominster. And I think that played a big part of who I am today in this lifetime. So when I talk to you about the heritage and part of the spirituality of who you are, sometimes it's very important to look back into who you are in this lifetime. Why is it that you are that, and what are the gifts that you get from that? Because I really feel that we all receive gifts if we're willing to open up our eyes and to see what they are. So for me, it was my grandfather at a very early age. I used to get premonitions when I was a child, and I did not understand them at all. And my biggest one was my grandfather. And I used to do so many things with him. He was my pal. He was a contractor. He would even let me go out on jobs with him, and just all kinds of things I did with him. So I had a premonition that he shouldn't be having the surgery he was going to have. I didn't understand it. I was too young. But I told my parents, Grandpa can't have that surgery. It just doesn't feel right. Well, Grandpa had the surgery. And he came home. 3 days later, he went back in the hospital, and he passed from complications. So then when the parents came back to the house to tell everybody what was going on, I was very sad. I was so sad, I ran up to my bedroom. I shared it with my sister, and on my sister's bed, guess what? Was my grandfather sitting there. I saw him, I heard him, I felt him. There's not one part of me that was afraid at all, because he filled up that room with so much light and love that it was just that warm heart feeling. And the best thing he ever told me is he said he was going to be there to help me out. And I truly believed it, so I went running down those stairs to tell everybody we don't have to do anything. Grandpa's here, he's going to be with us forever and ever and ever. And isn't that wonderful? Well, as the day progressed, that night I couldn't sleep. So I wanted to go down and talk to my parents and ask them exactly what was going on. So I'm going down the stairs. Well, I overhear them talking, and they're talking about me and how they're going to get me some extra special help. So that didn't sound so good to me, didn't feel so good, so I ran back upstairs and just kind of zipped my lip. Well, come to find out about it, my mom, lots of stories with my mom, saw spirits just like I did, but she wasn't really comfortable with it, and she definitely didn't want me doing it. So we would have really funny times together. She would say, Joni, you stop talking to those people. I would even get ice cream cones, a lot of other things just to do it. So I just kind of kept it quiet, what I was hearing, seeing, and feeling, and went about my business. But Grandpa, hence these dish of dimes. When I have brothers and sisters, and it was the four of us, we used to sleep over Nan and Gramps' house. And my grandfather used to say, first one asleep gets a dime. That was just a couple years ago. But there was a candy store up the street. So it was a good thing to hurry up and go to sleep or shut your eyes to pretend you were sleeping anyways. So anyways, to this day, Grandpa still leaves me dimes. I get them all over the place, so that's why I brought that in there. And I even had, when I was trying to figure out what I was going to say, guess what I had on the floor in front of me? A dime. So I knew what Grandpa was doing. So anyways, as time went on, I'm in 8th grade, and I'm in pre-algebra. I remember the teacher, Mr. Dowd. He puts the example on the board, and I'm working it out. Well, Grandpa comes in. He whispers the answer in my ear, and I know it's correct. I don't have one doubt at all that that answer is correct. I write it down. Teacher said, who has an answer? Of course, I raised my hand right away. I got it. He goes, okay, Joan, what is it? And I tell him, he goes, you're right, but how'd you get it? Well, you think in 8th grade you're going to be able to say, Grandpa's here, and he's whispering in my ear? I don't think that would go over to him. And he goes, well, you don't know what you did. And I go, well, yeah, I do, but I'm not going to. But no, Grandpa didn't give me the SATs. That would have been kind of nice and a few other things. But he just really, really wanted me to know that he was always there, and he was always there to help me out. And he has been. Now, when I came here to Casadega and was looking at the house that I ended up purchasing and looking at everything, well, my house has a full basement. I'm in the basement. Who do you think's standing next to me in spirit? Grandpa. He says, look at that house, Joan. It's solid. You can live here if you want to. I'm saying go ahead and do it. So I believed him. And thank goodness I did. So that's what I'm going to tell you is the spirits that we have, family, and I would say angels and a lot of other ones, they're really here to help us out. And it's whether we turn it on or turn it off. Now, my mom, it took her a little bit longer in life and me knowing her for her to really come out with all she knew. And that was more in the last year of her life. And my mom had multiple myeloma, and it was pretty hard, but we did hospice in the house. And she really came out with a lot of beautiful parts to who she was. I think she let all those walls come down and be there. And one of her favorite flowers was irises. Well, guess what I have here in Casadega in my backyard, wildly growing? Irises. And I do really feel like it's a gift from my mom. I do. And one of the things that happened, it was like 2 weeks after she had passed, a florist called me up on the phone and said, I have your mom's flowers here. I'm there like, how can you have my mom's flowers? Yeah, they're bought and paid for. You need to come pick them up. Guess what it was? A bouquet of irises. And to this day, nobody knows how that was delivered. The other thing I have is clover, and I have it growing wild in my yard. I gave you all a clover because to me it has a special representation. Why a clover? Well, I get all my papers here so I say it to you right. Those 3 beautiful hearts, and that's what they are, 3 hearts that are connected together, are for faith, hope, and love. And I always feel like the biggest part of our growth in us spiritually is through our heart, through the love of what we give and what we receive. You know, natural law, what you give out is truly what you receive back. So I'm saying spread the love, guys, because it really, really, really does work. Now, the 4-leaf clover, that has to do with faith, hope, love, and luck. But it's still it's what you believe in. And remember, natural law, what you put out is what you get back. So that's what I really want to share with you, is that part of our heritage and why it is that important. So I'm inviting you to go back and to look in your own and see the special connection that you have yourself on a personal level with your family and your heritage. Because I would make $1 million bet with you that there's a huge part that actually has to do with spirituality. Now, the other thing that I kind of wanted to, because this is a part of me and who I am, is when we talk about paganism, and I'm going to talk to you about Irish paganism, because I think some people get it mixed up into what the real definition of what it is. And it's a spiritual practice that honors nature, celebrates festivals, and believes in spirits. It's rooted in the idea that spirits inhabit the nature world. The physical and spiritual world are intertwined. The living and the dead are connected, especially during sacred times. Nature is sacred and has spiritual well-being that humans are responsible for the upkeep of nature. Different aspects of nature, such as the sun, the moon, and the seas, and the land, are all part of it. Fairies, spirits, ancestors, they all play an active role in the experience of our life. I have a beautiful granddaughter, and one of my fondest memories when she was here, she was 4, and she was out on my front porch, and she's calling my name, and she used to call me Nene. And what I will tell you, grandchildren can call us anything, and we will answer. So she's saying, Nene, Nene, please come here, please come here. So I said, all right. I come running out the door, and I go, what is it? She goes, oh, the fairies know I'm back. So it is, you know, they're all a part of nature. And it's whether we open up our door to be able to see it and to hear it and to feel it, because they are there. She helped me build, I have a little fairy garden in my yard, and that was my granddaughter that first helped me build that. So I try to keep it up. But it is, and I just love it. And I think that's also why I have a whole yard full of clover. And I also was given a very beautiful little one this morning, too, to bring me luck. And I honor that, because that was a very special gift. So that's what, you know, I really want to hold you and know that there are many blessings in our life. And it's whether we open up the door to them or we don't open up the door to them. And it's whether we look at the gifts that are surrounding us, who we are and who we are not. And I think it's very, very precious. And I do think, you know, the heart of us has so much to explore. And for me, I was an early childhood teacher for years, and that taught me so many lessons on the gift of the heart. I had a little boy, and what I used to do at the beginning of the year, I would paint a rainbow on the bulletin board, and I would ask the children where they wanted to sit, so they would make themselves. I had oak tack and hair and eyes and all that, and I would ask them to make themselves, because it gave me a clue of who they were, how you could see them from within. And this little boy, he wanted to sit on the green, and I knew there was a lot of issues with love in his family and all his surroundings. And when we were doing the Irish wishes, he wanted to send one to his mom, who he was not living with his mom, he was living with his grandma. And what he put on it, he said, I just want Mom to say, I love you. So that was a big tail sign for me, that there are special parts in there that we all have, and it's just whether we open ourselves up to it and see what it is. And you know, to be able to share it. We know when people are hurting and when they're not. We know that's an inside point, but what's so good about spirits and them having around you is that they give you all these messages. And are you listening or are you not? That's up to you to whether you are listening or not. And one of the reasons that I love my Irish heritage is because of the laughter, the love, the part that they tried to make anything that was going on in your life a little bit happier. You can say by a song, a music, whatever it was. And it was there. And like I said, even my mom, and seeing her change over the years, it was so nice to see her let all that go and let it be out there for all of us to be there. And one of the jokes that I love, because I do have a whole pamphlet of Irish jokes, but I promise you I didn't bring them all in with me. But this one I love. And it says, as you slide down the banister of life, may the splinters never point in the wrong direction. So what I'm saying is to honor who you are and in what you come from, and try to make every day, sometimes it is a chore. I can't tell you it isn't. Sometimes it is a chore to make your special day what it is. But I will tell you that, yes, I do have some corned beef and cabbage waiting for me to cook. But no, that was not, over in Ireland, no, they didn't cook that. That's more of an American part. And no, the Irish don't drink green beer. They drink ale, like Guinness. But that's still an American tradition. But that's okay. So it's to take the joy of it and the love of it and let that to be in your heart and who you are. And what I would like to close with, it's a blessing. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, the rain fall softly upon your fields. And until we meet again, may spirits hold you in the palm of their hands. May you keep safe in the gentle, loving arms. Amen, and so be it. And thank you so much for coming here and listening to me.